But beyond the involvement of those other senior officials, I think it's worth noting here that where we did land on this fifth day of hearings was with the question being settled and basically uncontested now as to the president himself ordering the scheme, the president having full knowledge of the scheme, and the president having direct personal contact with the people who were carrying the scheme out on his behalf. Him communicating with them about the scheme while they were doing it on his orders. It is remarkable that this impeachment is sort of this young in terms of how far we've gotten through these proceedings. And that part of it, the degree to which the president is personally and directly implicated in it, that's uncontested now. The Republicans have even stopped fighting that. That's just settled. I mean, here, for example, is the second witness who testified alongside Fiona Hill today, Career Foreign Service Officer David Holmes, who is based at the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv.
Now, you said that at some point Ambassador Sondland pulled out his cell phone and called President Trump. This was an unsecure cell phone, is that right?
Yes, sir.
In the middle of a restaurant in Kyiv?
Yes.
Now, you said that you were able to hear President Trump's voice through the receiver. Mm-hmm. How were you able to hear if it was not on speakerphone?
It was several things. It was quite loud when the president came on, quite distinctive. I believe Ambassador Sondland also said yesterday he often speaks very loudly over the phone, and I certainly experienced that. When the president came on, he sort of winced and held the phone away from his ear like this, and he did that for the first couple exchanges. I don't know if he then turned the volume down, if he got used to it, if the president's moderated his volume, I don't know. But that's how I was able to hear it.
And so you were able to hear some of what President Trump said to Ambassador Sondland?
What I hear the
president say to Ambassador Sondland?
Yeah, he clarified whether he was in Ukraine or not, and he said, yes, I'm here in Ukraine. And then Ambassador Sondland said he loves your ass, he'll do anything you want. He said, is he going to do the investigation?
So you heard President Trump ask Ambassador Sondland, is he going to do the investigation?
Yes, sir.
What was Ambassador Sondland's response?
He said, oh, yeah, he's going to do it. He'll do anything you ask.
And was that the end of the Ukraine portion of the conversation?
Yes.
Afterwards, you described a follow-on conversation that you had with Ambassador Sondland, where you asked him, I think, generally, what did President Trump think of Ukraine? Is that right?
Correct.
What did Ambassador Sondland say to you?
He said he doesn't really care about Ukraine.
Did he use slightly more colorful language than that?
He did.
What did he say that he does care about?
He said he cares about big stuff.
Did he explain what he meant by big stuff?
Well, I asked him, well, what kind of big stuff? We have big stuff going on here, like a war with Russia. And he said, no, big stuff like the Biden investigation that Mr. Giuliani is pushing.
Now, were you familiar with the Biden investigation that he referenced at that point?
Yes, sir.
And how do you have such a specific and clear recollection of this conversation with the president and your conversation with Ambassador Sondland?
Yeah. So this was a very distinctive experience. I've never seen anything like this in my foreign service career. Someone at a lunch in a restaurant making a call on a cell phone to the President of the United States. Being able to hear his voice, it's a very distinctive personality, as we've all seen on television. Very colorful language was used. They were directly addressing something that I had been wondering about working on for weeks and even months. A topic that had led to the recall of my former boss, the former ambassador. And so here was a person who said he had direct contact with the president and had said that over the course of time. Here he is actually having that contact with the president, hearing the president's voice, and them talking about this issue of the Biden investigation that I'd been hearing about.
So there we get the account, right? There's the president talking directly to his hand-picked man on the ground in this foreign country. The president on that phone call, checking in on whether he's getting these investigations he's demanding into his political rivals from that foreign country. Yes, Mr. President, I'll give you whatever you want. Good, good, good. I'm getting my investigations. Right? There's the president personally checking in on the scheme in the middle of it. And there are witnesses to it. And that part of it just isn't contested by the Republican side. I mean, this impeachment, I don't know how much longer it's going to go for. Again, we'll try to chase that down some more over the course of this hour tonight. But in terms of the president having done it, ordered it, personally checked in on it during the course of it being carried out, Republicans just aren't fighting that. They're willing to just let that ride. And so, we'll see about the others. We'll see about Vice President Pence and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and the White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney and Energy Secretary Rick Perry. And we'll see about what happens to all of the other very senior officials who have got their arms, or at least their shirt tails, stuck in the closing subway doors here themselves. But as for the president's own role, we've had 5 days of hearings, and they've all nailed down different aspects of this. That what he confessed to is what he actually did. And the Republicans aren't fighting that at all. Once we've all agreed on that, though, what we get to learn next is even worse. And that was made more sharply evident today than at any other day of this scandal yet. That's next.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.